Come on in the room, you guys. Come on in the room. I'm getting things prepared. Come on in the room. All right, you guys, come on in the room. This is Jay Kentron coming to you guys live this evening, and I'm coming to you because I want to do a down memory lane story on my favorite rap group, Bone Thugs and Harmony. That's right. Um, I've been thinking about this for a good minute, for a good while, and Bone Thugs and Harmony is one of my favorite, if not the favorite rap group of all time. Yeah, I said it. My favorite rap group of all time. And some people may disagree with that, and that's okay. People can have their own opinion. Um, they're my favorite rap group because they set the soundtrack to my teenage years. They were trendsetters. They were very mysterious and mystique, and a lot of the things that I liked about them was centered around that. So I just like to take you guys down memory lane. We're gonna go down East 1999 in St. Clair, if you will. And I'm just going to share with you guys how I remember when they first came onto the scene. Okay. So it had to be around 1992, 1993, somewhere up in there. And I was a little teenager, flopping around in these Dallas streets. And I just remember, uh, shopping at this little strip mall called Soul Bazaar. And we would go there a lot to get, a lot of the little bootleg CDs and cassette tapes and things like that. I would mostly buy cassette tapes because back then I didn't have a CD player. I had a cassette tape, a Walkman, and so I would go and I would get whatever the latest music was that was out at the time. And just rock that and on my way from home from school or whatever. And that was that. So, as it would have it one day, we went up there after school one day and just browsing around, and I saw some new music. Didn't know what it was, but I wanted to try it out anyway. So I saw this particular cassette cover or album cover, whatever you want to call it. And it just kind of caught my attention because I was like, oh, wow, I see four guys with a Grim Reaper behind them. It was just kind of eye catching to me. So I got it and I looked at it front and back. And I was like, okay, they're called Bone Enterprise. That was their first name. when they first came out, Bone Enterprise. And this is the cover of the album. It was called Bone Enterprise, and the name of the cassette was Faces of Death. Okay. So I got it, and I just remember listening to it on the bus home, on my way home. And I was just like, okay, there are some songs on here that I really, really like. But there was one song on there that just stood out. And I was just like, okay, it's talking about son of being a son of an assassin and all that, right? So I was like, okay, these guys are, I can tell that they're going to make an impact on the music industry. Now, at that time, I was probably around 13, 14 years old. And I had a good ear for music. It's just like I do now. And when I heard this song, I knew that it was, that these guys were going to go somewhere. So as you can hear, this is Lazy Bone that's rapping right here, right now. They weren't as polished as they are now, or as they've been over the past years, but they still had that something that would draw you to their music, right? So when as I was listening to this, I was just like, wow, who are these guys? And so I listened to it, and I just kept listening to this particular song over and over and over. So long story short, the time went by, about a year or so went by, and I didn't hear of them anymore. And back in the day, we didn't have all this, social media, electronics, and all that to go look up people and things like that, like all these spoiled kids got now. Like you can just type in someone's name now, you can find everything on them, you know? So we couldn't find anything on them, didn't know who they were, so we just kind of forgot about them. But I still continued to listen to to the tape and everything, and added it to my collection. So I'll say maybe about a year had passed. And for those of you who are in my age group, there was this very popular cable station that was a music station called The Box. Okay. Um, the Box showed nothing but videos 24 hours a day, and you had to pay for them. Okay. You had to pay for them. I remember coming home one evening. I don't know where I was coming from. I was probably outside playing or something. Came in the house. And I was just, flipping the stations and everything. And I just remember seeing the Thuggish Ruggish Bone video. And it just kind of stopped me in my tracks. I was like, okay, these guys look familiar. They look familiar. Okay. So as I'm watching the video, and then at the end of the video, it said Bone Thugs and Harmony. So I immediately remembered these guys from the album cover about a year or so prior. And I remembered who they were. And I said, oh, they got another guy in the group. And plus, they're with EAZY. So that was exciting to me. And then plus, I liked the song. And man, when I tell you guys that The Box, that song played on that music station non-stop. I'm talking morning, noon, night. That song was on that station all day long. It just continued to play. Every time you see, I think, let me see, what was their number? Let me see if my old ass can remember. um I don't remember. But I know the station number was 258, I believe. And every time I saw their number playing at the bottom of the screen, like when people would call in and they would request a song, and they would punch in the request that they wanted to hear. You see that number pop up, man, you get excited and you know it's gonna come on. And that song came on, man, I'm trying to tell you, we used to get so excited every time it came on. And so, long story short, Bone pretty much ran the box. I mean, that's pretty much where they got all their exposure. That's where they just pretty much blew up from being on that station. And how they ended up getting discovered anyway, from coming from the Son of the Assassins, the Faces of Death album, coming from this point, and then going to the Creeping on the Come Up album. They came, they ended up going to LA, one way ticket. They went out there to meet Easy E. Okay. They went out there. Um, they hit up what was it? Rootless Records. And they went out there to meet Easy, and he was on tour at the time. And then they kept calling the assistant, and she kept taking down their message. And finally one day they got Easy on the phone, or either they got the receptionist on the phone, and she took down their message, and she was like, okay, I'm going to give the message to Easy E. Okay, don't worry, I'm going to make sure he gets this message, because y'all keep calling every day, so I'm going to make sure he gets this message. So they were in there, as the story goes, they were in their motel room, and then Easy called them back. Okay, so he ended up calling them back, and then Busy Bone answered the phone, and then Easy E had said, hey, what's up, this Easy, is this Bone, like that. And then Busy Bone just threw the phone to Crazy Bone and was like, man, kick your rhyme or something like that. And then Crazy Bone just started spitting, and then when he got done, Busy Bone started spitting, and then so on and so forth. And then the rest is history. He asked them where they were. They told him they were in LA, that they had come out there to see him. And he told them that he was ironically in Cleveland. Now, what is the odds of that? So they ended up having to hustle up some more money to get their behinds back to Cleveland. Okay. They had to make their way back to Cleveland to meet up with Easy. And he was on tour at the time. So they had to meet back up with him, and they ended up doing that. They hustled, did whatever they had to do to get back to Cleveland. And they met up with Easy at the concert, and they hit their rhymes backstage. And at that point, the rest was history. And from that point on, it was just nothing but magic in the studios. They started recording the Creeping on the Come Up album, and it was just magic from there. But it's just that that time frame in my life is just so pivotal, because that was all you could hear on the radio, and every car that passed down the street, all you could hear was Thuggish Ruggish Bone, or For the Love of Money, being played everywhere. I mean, this song was everywhere, everywhere. But they kind of had to create a sound for themselves, right? They kind of had to create a sound. So they had to come up with a sound to go with their image. They already kind of had somewhat of a sound, but it wasn't a signature sound. And I know the stories of people saying that, oh, they stole 3 6 Mafia sound and all that type of stuff. And I don't agree with that. And I don't agree with that because I feel like there are some similarities, but I feel like Bone perfected uh they perfected the sound and they polished it and they made it their own. So I think that back in that time frame, like back in 92, 93, there were a lot of groups that were rapping that twister type of style. And let's see, the rapper Twister was rapping like that, Do or Die, um, Bone, 3 6 Mafia, um, let me see. I think Crucial Conflict was rapping a little bit like that. I mean, it was like a lot of groups out at that particular time that was twisting. Um, the rapper Twister was the fastest. Like he was just like a ripster. You know what I'm saying? And Bones' presence and their stage presence and their personas and the fact that they all had different personalities, but collectively they were all thugs, is what made them so unique. And I'm sorry to say, but 3 6 Mafia just didn't have that. Okay, they didn't have that stage presence and that mystique and those different personas that made people that interested in them. They're a good group and they have definitely have some club bangers, but they just wasn't Bone. I mean, like they didn't set trends when they first came out. Bone set a whole trend. It was kind of like or reminiscent to when Snoop Dogg came out or when Tupac came out, to me and to a lot of other people. So for anyone who's where there's talks of being put into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you got to know that from the beginning to the middle to the end, there's been trend setting and a certain formula that has been set that everybody has not been able to tap into. And I'm sorry, but all those other groups that I named, they didn't tap into that. Now, Crucial Conflict had the potential, but I don't know what happened to them. I really don't. I don't know what happened to that group because I really did like their music. Um, I'll say about 96, 97. I think. They were out there and they had two really good CDs out, but then they just kind of fell off or faded out. So, but all these years, Bone, they've come and gone, but they're still relevant even today. Okay. But let's talk about how they got their signature sound. Okay. So, as the story goes, there are a couple of gals by the name of Menage a Trois. Okay. And they had an album out entitled Menage a Trois. Okay. Where I believe it was DJ Unique who used to always be the signature DJ for Bone Thugs and Harmony over the years. Um, they, or he rather, suggested that the vibe of a couple of their songs, that Bone kind of take that signature vibe from the song. Like he asked them, what kind of vibe do you guys like? Like what's the signature sound that you guys want? And they really didn't know at the time. Um so he just kind of let them listen to a couple of songs to kind of get a gist of what they wanted. And so then a certain song came on and the vibe of the song is definitely Bone. So I'm gonna let you guys hear this. Never mind the lyrics, because the lyrics is about a man and a woman, on some dating type stuff. But just listen to the vibe of the melody and the music. Tell ya. Just how it's gonna be. Low, saying you wanna go out and do a little something. 9 times out of 10, I bet you're talking about fucking. Cancel that shit, nigga, because I just. And as you can see, how that vibe is real laid back. That's definitely a Bone vibe, and that's why I said that versus battle. It was not really even, if you will, because Bone is on this type of vibe. 3 6 Mafia is on a crunk club type vibe. They're not the same. Okay. They're not the same. This is like a riding in your car, chilling type situation with your shades on. But it ain't no thing. So anyway, that's where they got the vibe from. That's where they got the vibe from for Bone's signature sound. And needless to say, it's been a sound that just pretty much has pretty much just carried them throughout their entire career, because that's the sound that they always pretty much every song that they have is kind of got that little vibe to it. Like this one is the Resurrection. This is the instrumental though. This one is just a little bit faster, but as you can see, it's more of a kind of same vibe. And this is the vibe that they're always on. If you can hear that, it's in the background, but it's okay. If it's not as loud as it needs to be, that's fine. But let's talk about some of the people that they have worked with. Okay. Throughout the years, let's see. One of the first artists I remember that they worked with was Tupac. This was on the Art of War album, and they worked with Tupac on the Thug Love song. Let's see. They worked with Tupac on the Thug Love song. Let's see. Who else did they work with? Let's see. They worked with Pac. They worked with Master P. With the P and Bone. That was on the Master P album. Definitely, they worked with Biggie. They worked with Biggie. Okay, the Bone and Biggie song, that was definitely a big hit, and that was a song where they took Biggie out of his element and brought him into their element. So that was kind of I wouldn't say shocking, but I would say that was it was funny to see Biggie come out of his swag, his pimp swag, his suavito type swag, and come into that Bone swag. That was funny. Yeah. Let's see. But some fun facts about the group is that Lazy Bone and Flesh and Bone are brothers. So let me go down the whole group. Okay. We got Wishbone, of course, Busy Bone. He's probably the most known out of the group. We got Flesh and Bone. We got Crazy Bone. And then we got Lazy Bone. And as I said before, Flesh and Bone and Lazy Bone are blood brothers. Okay. Lazy Bone, Flesh and Bone, and Wishbone are all relatives. Wishbone is their cousin. And I believe somewhere down the line, that Busy Bone and Crazy Bone are related. I believe they are related somewhere down the line. But these are just some little pictures that I found. Crazy Bone. This is Busy Bone getting his hair braided. And then there was an interesting story on Busy Bone himself. He and his siblings, when they were children, really, really young, they got kidnapped by their mother's boyfriend for 2 years. And didn't know that they were kidnapped. They were not aware that they were kidnapped. And it took for America's Most Wanted to find them and bring them back to safety. They did not know that they were even kidnapped. The man lied to them and told them that they were going on a trip or something, and they ended up being kidnapped for 2 years. And that within itself would explain a lot of Busy's behavior, like over the years. Now he's never done any type of drugs, and he will attest to that. Uh, Even though the media had put those lies out and everything, he has indulged in alcohol, but he's never done any type of drugs. Um, but it would attest to why at times he would spaz out and stuff like that. That had to be traumatizing to go through that as a kid, um, that type of abuse, and not know, and then see your mother get abused. That's got to be something that would traumatize you as a kid, and that would explain why he probably acts the way he does at times. Yeah. And also with the situation with the versus battle, it also was said that there's a lot of unfinished business within the group, which is why Busy Bone has been so vocal about things. And that fight was going to happen either way. Either it was going to happen within the group or it was going to happen with the other group. But either way, it was going to happen. So it played out the way we all saw it play out. I just hate that they didn't get a chance to shine the way that I know they can, because I've gone to pretty much every Bone concert that has come to Dallas, with the exception of two. The one from the House of Blues, which was about a year ago, and then there was another one, I think back in 2019, that I didn't get a chance to go to. Because, throughout those years from 2018 to last year, I was pretty busy with personal things within my own family. So I wasn't making too much time for leisure things. Um, but yeah, every concert other than that they've come to Dallas, I've been there. So I know what they bring to a stage. And it was just kind of, as a longtime fan, supporter fan, to see them or see that situation unfold like that, it was just kind of sad. But it was also it was also funny too. It was funny also, a little bit. It was a little funny because only Busy Bone can do that and get away with it, and then come back out on the stage and shake his hand like nothing happened. But let's go down picture lane and let's look at a couple of these pics. Of course, we saw the Cleveland sign, which is where they're from, East 99 in St. Clair. Okay. This is the East 1999 Eternal album cover. Okay. Let's see here. Uh, let's see what else I got here for you guys. And it's just also another story that came to mind is when they first came to Dallas. I believe they were at the Palladium. They were at the Palladium. That used to be a spot that Erica Badu owned back in the day, way back in the day. Um, and they came there, and I remember we didn't care anything about missing that game that night to go to that concert, and we were right there, and we did not care. I know I didn't. I was trying to see Flesh and Bone, so I sure didn't care. Hey, and Crazy Bone had that Thug Mentality 1999 album was off the chain, and it was very uh I mean, it was not it did not get the highest ratings that it could have possibly gotten. But I mean, it was highly anticipated, but then once it came out, it was just like underestimated, you know, like they didn't give him his just due. But I still listen to it. Like I still listen to a lot of their stuff. A lot of their stuff. That's it playing in the background, one of his songs. Eh. And another thing, they had the Mo Thugs family that came out. And this was probably about 98, 99. And I remember I bought that album also. I bought both of them. And that one was also a really good CD. And that showcased a lot of the people that was from their hometown, from their neighborhood. Matter of fact, I'm just going to show you my video that I made from that. Let me see. Let's see here. A Madam Momo. A. I mean, it's just like they just got this signature sound that is never gonna go away. And as long as I'm listening to them, as long as I'm bumping, I mean, I can't even believe this is. I mean, it's just like the Isley brothers to me at this point. Like I'm still bumping Bone all these years, so that speaks volumes. I ain't bumping no half the people that I named. I ain't bumping them. That part. Eh, okay. Let's see here. A a a. So I'm gonna share the screen. Let me see, so I can show you my video. Okay, let me put the. Let me make sure this is showing correctly. We gonna get it right, y'all. There's Alicia. That's too true. That's the Queen. That's Graveyard Shift. Wishbone. That's Trey. That's Ken Dog. Cray. And that's the Mo Thug family. This is actually the third installment of the Mo Thug family album. Stay tuned for part one of Bone Thugs and Harmony, the untold story. And that's my little cute self. So yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So I just wanted to come to you guys for just a little bit and talk a little bit on the first installment of my bone video and let you guys know what I felt about their humble beginnings and just take you guys down memory lane of East 1999 in St. Clair. Um, as I remember it back in the day. And on part two, we're going to talk about how things were when they began to get the fame, how things were after Eazy-E's death, um, and their road just after the life after Eazy, pretty much, and where they are now, and some of the things that they went through, say in the last 20 years. So we're going to talk about all of that in part two. I'm gathering my info now. Um, and I know here recently, I believe that Busy Bone, I believe that he buried his mom. Let me see. If I'm not mistaken, I think the video that I saw the other day that he said that. So let's hear this. All right, so come on over to Jam TV. It's YouTube for Jam TV Busy Bone. Make sure you subscribe. You get a chance. I'm going over there now. IG. I'm on my way. I got some shit to say. I need to take care of on it. So check it out. I want everybody on Instagram Live. Come on, bring your ass over on the Jam TV. We finna have some fun. Finna talk about some motherfuckers who been talking about me. You dig what I'm saying? I'm here to strike back. You feel me? I had to make sure I put my mama up in heaven and do what I needed to do and all that other stuff. Had things I needed to take care of on the other side. I'm back. What Jen, you want to say? I'm back, bitches. Okay, I just wanted to let you guys hear that from the horse's mouth because I don't like to put out any misinformation. And if I do, I always go and try to fact check it and get the right information to correct myself at the end of the day. But I know that I had heard him say that this is a live from about 11 days ago. It's on his channel that I am subscribed to here on YouTube, and it's called Jam TV. Jam is all caps. Excuse me. Jam is all caps. JAM TV. You can get all of his commentary, all his lives, all his rants. Find out who he's beefing with, if he's beefing. You can get to know his family, find out about his music, his merch. It's a pretty cool channel, and he and his family is involved in it, and I love that. And his wife is really involved, his kids, and I love that about the channel, and that's why I am subscribed to it. Busy Bone is on his grown man on this channel, but he will check a bitch over here. So don't come over here thinking he's Mr. Rogers. because he will check your ass over here as he's doing on this live right now. But yeah, subscribe to the channel, and you'll get to see all the things that I get to see. I would suggest, if you are a avid Bone fan, subscribe to all their channels. I am following them on IG as well. Um, but yeah, subscribe to their channels over there. I mean, follow them on IG and subscribe to them over here on YouTube. Okay. So, like I said, on part two, we're going to cover all of their ups and downs and their rise to fame after Eazy's death. So stay tuned for that. And I will see you guys on the next installment of Bone Thugs and Harmony, The Humble Beginnings. But of course, the next one will be called, let's see, the next one will be called The Rise to Fame after Eazy's death. Something of that nature. I haven't decided what I'm going to call it yet, but it'll definitely be part two. So I'll see you guys next time. Have a great evening. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe to Jay Kentron TV. Bye bye.
Gotta pull that nine on them niggas every time, selling rocks on the 99. Gotta put them on the pig, you wanna die, put them in the grave, and they give me all of the dime. Didn't wanna take his life, but the nigga tried to run and get away with me. I didn't wanna take his life, but the nigga tried to run and get away with me. I didn't wanna take his life, but the nigga tried to run and get away with me. I didn't wanna take his life, but the nigga tried to run and get away with me. Start pumping off and steadily all the way to the other side of the ride. Shine when I hit that corner now. Niggas is about to die. Thugs the thieving off and creeping, and I couldn't tell out my city. Better not to come and move. On the way bringing that city with me, pen man. Nigga, this the thing. By the way, don't fuck with brains. Put in my mind up on my brain. Running all out in a place to stay. And I'm not the them. Yeah, get them off the money, gauge them. Better pray to save them, but it won't do any good now. Bang, bang, caution the loss and me right. Get them up off the gang, bang. Kill a nigga, bang. Kill a trigger, bang. Coming up out to win a man. Off with the blood, put him in the mud with a stuck through. Gotta get paid. Reaching the back as we better. Take up a shell and slip in the bucket like gas spray. Soaked up with a black cut, ready to pop. You know, cause broke gets played, just don't get paid. And nigga come drop it down.